William was born in 1028 in Normandy. His father was Duke Robert I, and his mother, though not definitively confirmed, was likely Herleva, the daughter of a tanner. Due to his illegitimate birth, William faced significant social and political challenges throughout his youth. In the feudal society of the time, illegitimacy posed substantial obstacles to both personal reputation and political legitimacy. His family lineage traced back to Normandy's Viking origins. In 911, King Charles III of France had made the Treaty of Saint-Clair-sur-Epte with Viking leader Rollo. According to this agreement, Rollo and his followers were granted the right to settle in what is now the Normandy region. In return, Rollo converted to Christianity and pledged loyalty to the French king. This marked the official beginning of Normandy's Viking heritage. The region's name, Normandy, derives from Land of the Northmen. Rollo's descendants strengthened the region over the next century and gradually assimilated into French culture. William's father, Duke Robert I, was a member of this Viking-descended Norman dynasty. When Robert died in 1035 during a pilgrimage to Jerusalem, William was only 7 years old. As a child, he succeeded to the dukedom of Normandy, but his inexperience and youth left the duchy vulnerable to internal turmoil. His illegitimacy caused dissent among some Norman nobles, leading to persistent threats to his leadership during his early years. William's guardians and loyal advisors were constantly tasked with protecting him. One of his close advisors, Osborne, was assassinated while defending him. These events shaped William into a resilient and skilled leader, adept at navigating political and military struggles from a young age. As a young duke, William faced the daunting task of consolidating his rule against both internal and external enemies. Normandy's strategic location in northern France made it a coveted territory for both the French crown and rival feudal lords. With the support of a loyal faction of Norman nobles, William began to assert his control over the duchy. His first major success was suppressing rebellions among the Norman nobility. In 1047, William faced a significant revolt led by his cousin, Guy of Burgundy. With the support of King Henry I of France, William crushed the rebellion at the Battle of Valais Dunes. This victory solidified his authority in Normandy and established him as a decisive leader capable of maintaining order. He strengthened the feudal structure in Normandy, securing the loyalty of his vassals through oaths of fealty. This system allowed him to create a robust political and military framework within the duchy. He also improved systems of justice and taxation, enhancing his centralized authority. He placed particular emphasis on building military capacity. He trained his army rigorously and cultivated Norman knights into one of the most formidable warrior classes of the era. This army would later play a pivotal role in his conquest of England. Additionally, William expanded Normandy's naval capabilities, increasing its maritime power. In 1051, William married Matilda, the daughter of Baldwin V, Count of Flanders. This marriage expanded William's political alliances, bolstered his influence over the Norman nobility, and secured a powerful ally in Flanders. Matilda proved to be an intelligent and capable partner, supporting William's rule and administration. In the same year, King Edward the Confessor of England initiated diplomatic ties with Duke William to strengthen relations between England and Normandy. This connection was deeply rooted in their shared family history. Edward's mother, Emma of Normandy, established a cultural and political affinity between the two leaders. Edward had spent part of his youth in exile in Normandy, where he developed close ties with the Norman aristocracy. These factors likely contributed to Edward's trust and goodwill toward William. William utilized these diplomatic engagements to reinforce Normandy's influence and advance his aspirations for the English throne. Edward's childlessness created uncertainty about the succession, which William sought to exploit. William claimed that Edward had promised him the English crown, a claim that, while not definitively documented, became a cornerstone of William's future assertions. William would later argue that Edward had designated him as his successor, providing a pretext for his eventual claim to the throne. By 1054, King Henry I grew increasingly concerned about Normandy's rise as a powerful feudal domain under William's leadership. Normandy's rapid economic, military, and political development under William threatened to upset the balance of power in northern France. Henry launched a military campaign against William in 1054, the first major conflict between the French crown and the Norman duchy. At the Battle of Mortimer, William's forces decisively defeated the French army. The French troops were routed by a surprise Norman attack, and Count Odo was killed, while King Henry's brother Raoul fled the battlefield back to France. This victory enhanced William's reputation as a military leader and reinforced Normandy's independence from French interference. William also intensified intelligence-gathering operations in England, studying the feudal structure and alliances among the Anglo-Saxon nobility. As Edward the Confessor approached his childless death in 1066, he carefully monitored the potential claimants to the throne and their supporters. In 1064, Harold Godwinson, a prominent Anglo-Saxon noble, visited Normandy. While the circumstances of Harold's visit remain uncertain, some sources suggest that Harold sought refuge after a shipwreck and was detained by William. During this visit, Harold reportedly swore an oath of allegiance to William, pledging support for his claim to the English throne. William later used this oath to legitimize his invasion and condemn Harold as a traitor when he claimed the throne in 1066. William sought religious legitimacy for his invasion by appealing to Pope Alexander II. The Pope supported William's claim, condemning Harold's alleged oath-breaking and sending him a consecrated banner, framing the invasion as a holy mission. William oversaw the construction of a massive fleet, building hundreds of ships to transport his army, horses, and supplies. William had assembled an army of 7,000 men consisting of knights, archers, and infantry. He waited until September along the shores of Normandy for favorable wind conditions. Meanwhile, Harold Godwinson defeated the Norwegian army led by King Harald Hardrada of Norway and his own brother Tostig Godwinson at the Battle of Stamford Bridge. Seizing this opportunity, the Norman army launched an invasion just 3 days after this battle. On September 28th, they established a strategically positioned camp near Hastings on the southern coast of England. The Battle of Stamford Bridge was a major military success for Harold, but his army had been severely weakened and was not reorganized to face the Norman threat in the south. Harold marched from London to Hastings in just 6 days, arriving in the region on October 13th. Harold's army, still exhausted and depleted after Stamford Bridge, was in a weakened and unprepared state. Harold's army consisted of approximately 7,000 soldiers, including Anglo-Saxon fyrd and professional housecarls, Harold's elite troops. William's army, on the other hand, numbered around 7,000 to 8,000 soldiers. It was composed of Norman knights, infantry, archers, and spearmen. Equipped with superior armor, cavalry, and archery units, it was one of the best equipped armies of the era. The battle began with William giving the order to attack. However, Harold's soldiers, using a shield wall, rendered the Norman assault ineffective. Regrouping and attacking again, the Norman infantry and cavalry were once more unable to break through the Anglo-Saxon shield wall due to the steep hill they had to climb. William's army was unable to capture the hill and suffered heavy losses. Following William's orders, the Norman soldiers feigned a retreat, luring the Anglo-Saxons into breaking their formation and pursuing them. This strategy proved successful. The shield wall was partially broken, and the English army chased after the Normans. At that moment, the Normans turned around and launched a counterattack. In the most intense hours of the battle, Harold was struck in the eye by an arrow, leading to his death. Harold's death completely shattered the morale of the Anglo-Saxon army, causing the soldiers to flee the battlefield. The outcome of the battle was devastating for both armies. The Anglo-Saxon army was almost completely destroyed. In addition to Harold, his two brothers, Gurth and Leofwine, were also killed in the battle. The losses are estimated to have been between 5,000 and 6,000 soldiers. The Norman army also suffered heavy losses, though less severe compared to the Anglo-Saxons. It is estimated that between 2,000 and 3,000 Norman soldiers were killed or wounded during the battle. Harold's death marked the collapse of Anglo-Saxon resistance. Following the victory, William advanced cautiously toward London, systematically subduing towns and intimidating the Anglo-Saxon nobility. By November, London submitted, and the Witenagemot abandoned Edgar Atheling, a young and inexperienced rival claimant, in favor of William. On December 25th, William was crowned King of England at Westminster Abbey, marking his formal recognition as the legitimate ruler of England. In this video, we covered William the Conqueror's invasion of England. If you'd like to support our channel, please like the video and leave a comment. Your support means so much to us.